Hello, everyone. Hope you are well. Uh, Today we are going to look at dictionaries. We're going to look at dictionaries. A dictionary is simply a key value pair data type, a data type that works with keys, values instead of indices, like we've seen in lists or like we usually see in lists. So each value stored in the dictionary can be accessed using a key which is the type of an object or which can be of any type of an object. It can be a string, it can be a number, it can be a list itself. So a key can be a number and a value may be maybe a list of objects. For example, if I have in the same in the supermarket, if I want oranges, I might be having a list of brown oranges, a list of green oranges, but all those are they brown? They are yellow orange, indeed. Yellow and green oranges. All those different oranges, they are in different lists, which are as values of a key called oranges in a dictionary. So instead of using uh, list list indices, we use key value pair. So we are going to explain dictionaries uh, based on a phone book. How does a phone book work? And it's the simplest value, it's the simplest example of a dictionary. So let's begin by creating a simple phone book. Uh, you can call it phone book, because and we create an empty dictionary like we did for a list. So we keep populating elements in a dictionary. So phone book, let me copy this so that I use the same phone book. So in my phone book may contain a name, uh, Alan, because my phone number uh, can make them strings. I can also make them numbers. So depending on what you want to, uh, so then make them numbers 789981418. So here we should be having a zero since it is so plus 256 since for the code. So I do the same. I do the same uh, to others. I do the same to others. Phone book, uh, uh, Rita, and I put maybe a phone number. I do the same to another person, Janat, and I put her phone number 040. So these are different elements. Uh, so this is a key, then this is a value. So when I search by name, it will bring me this value. Okay. Or if I type my contact, it brings the name in a phone book. That's how a phone book works. So if I want to print this phone book, I say print uh, phone book. If I print that phone book, I run the cell, it prints me a dictionary. So this is how a dictionary is. Brackets, a key and value, comma, key and value, comma, key and value. So this is how, that is one way of how you can create a dictionary. Another way you can create it is when you already know what you want, you are not putting them in this format, and you say phone book, okay, equals alternative way, and we press this like the way you see them here. The way you see them here is what we type. Okay. Okay. Paste. Okay. So Alan colon the number comma Rita uh, colon the number Janet colon the number. So we can the same way it has output here. If you can do this format. Let's call this phone book one and the other one phone book two. So depending on what you want to do uh, is 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 how you may first reduce this. Okay, so if I print phone book one, phone book one brings me the same. Uh, so depending on what is easier for you, you can do this way or you can do this way. So long as you define what we call a key value pair. A key value pair is the most important thing uh, in our dictionary. So you understand there is a key, there is a value, key and a value, key and a value, they are stored. So how do we iterate over dictionaries? Iterating over dictionaries. How do we iterating over dictionaries? So we have already phone book one. You remember the first one we created, which is the same as phone book. A phone book, first phone book, which is the same as the phone book one. Let's use phone book, the one we had created. So how do we iterate through it? Where is it? This was a phone book one, a phone book which we already made here. It has Alan, this contact, Rita, this contact, Janet, this contact. So if we want to print, for example, the name, or the name and contact of the people in our dictionary, how do we do it? So we use a for loop. We say for example, the name, that is a variable. You can use in a variable a name, comma number. We want to print a contact which contains a name and a number. As in phone book, phone book dot. So we use the formula dot items. Dot items. Dot items. You can always press a tab after the full stop so that it brings you what you want. Dot items. So the items, an item is a key value pair. So items then print, we say phone number, phone number, phone number of that person. Let's use formatted output string s, because the phone number of the name was string, so that was percentage s is percent d, because you remember we used integers here. If we had used string, we would also use percent s is modulus, then name, comma, number. So when you run this, it tells that the phone number of Alan is 789981418. Phone number of Rita is this. The phone number of Janet is this. Are we getting? So this is an interesting thing. So if we say phone book, phone book, phone book dot, we say dot items, items brings us or the items. You see these items, they are a list of Alan and contact, Rita and contact, Janat and contact. So with items, so that's why we use it in items. We iterate through items and we bring the name and the number. So we can do phone book dot values. So phone book dot values, we are interested on only uh, the values. Okay, phone book dot dot phone book dot keys. Okay, see, then it brings only the keys. So the key value. So the items is a combination of the key and value pair. So that's how the dictionaries do work. To remove an element in a dictionary is just uh, by deleting that element. Add an element. Let's see, adding element in dictionary. Adding element. You just say by our phone book, add that element. You use the same format we used a key value pair. Our key was a string. We maybe we add another name. We add Dickens name and his contact, which is 778664. Okay. So if we do this, that means we are adding an element in the dictionary. We run this, and then we call our phone book again. Phone book, you can see Dickens is added in a dictionary. So this is how we add elements in the dictionary. Removing elements, removing a value in a dictionary. How do we do that? This one we just by saying delete phone book, and we specify that person was called Dickens. So we run this and we run again their phone book. You see Dickens is no longer there. So we have removed that element completely from a dictionary. So you may use this or you may use print, whatever it works for. Jupyter Notebook allows any of these. Print phone book, Dickens is no longer in dictionary we have. So you can do various manipulations depending on what you want. If you write the name of dictionary, press, you put a dot and press tab, it can be able to show you different things that you can do. So instead of delete, also someone can use pop. You can say dot pop. Okay, dot pop, and we put a name like Rita. So if you run that, it will pop. So this is another way of removing. Let's put Dickens. Copy. Let's put Dickens. So this is another way of removing an element. Another way of removing an element. Okay. So then. So I will leave you with, so this is how a dictionary works. So dictionaries can work in various ways, in very many aspects in real life. So you should go out and look for how the dictionary works in different real life scenarios. So we can search in a dictionary. So suppose we want to check if the name is in our phone. What do we do? So we say maybe uh, if Rita Rita in phone book Rita in phone book prints uh, uh, Rita is available. Available. Okay. So if you run this, you can see Rita is available because Rita is in phone book. Okay. So you can use not in. Okay. Not in. Instead, we can say if Rita is not in phone book, if uh, let's copy this. Let's copy this and paste it here. So if Rita not in, we can use not in phone book, then say Rita is not is not is not available, else print uh, Rita is available. Okay. So when we run this, it tells us Rita is available because she's there. She's so you can use in or not in. So we can try someone else maybe like Jack. So if you try someone like Jack and run, say Rita is not available. Suppose somebody has entered Jack. So what you will do is uh, try and see that these things you do them in real life. You have where you enter names from the keyboard, then this name is the one that is put here, uh, as per se as what you have entered from the keyboard, uh, and so on and so on. So let's put back a Rita here. Uh, make it real by working on real life uh, scenarios using dictionaries. But this is the easiest way of how you can get understand dictionaries, how they work, and how they can be applied uh, in the dictionary. So the exercise I can give you is to try, try and try and add more contacts in your phone book, in your phone book, and do some other features of the dictionary like delete, etc. So that you understand more of, 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 of what the dictionary does. So that is your exercise. Try that. Uh, so this is the simplest way you can understand dictionaries, and they can work for you in anything that you want to do. Thank you for this lecture. I'll see you in another story.